My name is Jack Mulcahy, and I'm a grade 11 student at Oak Bay High School, and this is an English project for Mr. Mackenzie's Block 4 English class. Currently, we are studying Shakespeare, and in particular his play, Macbeth. I'm enthralled with his ability to turn words into stories, and also how he is able to capture an audience. In this short presentation, I will go over his life and times, as well as analyzing a passage from his play, Macbeth. Although there is no official record, it is commonly acknowledged by experts that William Shakespeare was born on April 23, 1564, to John Shakespeare and Mary Arden in a small town 100 miles west of London, Stratford-upon-Avon. He was the third of 8 children from the local merchant/politician and the daughter of a wealthy farmer. Although he was not destined for greatness, he would soon achieve such a feat. Official records of his schooling were non-existent. Scholars have deduced that he would have attended the King's New School in Stratford. There he would have learned reading, writing, and about classical works, which led him to be one of the most successful playwrights of all time. After graduating, William would meet the love of his life and married Anne Hathaway on November 28, 1582, in Worcester. After fathering twins, there are 7 years of silence. No records. These are referred to as the lost years, and although there are many speculations upon what happened, no one can be sure. By 1592, there are records establishing a William as an actor and a novice playwright. Over the coming years, he would eventually become a partner in an acting company called the King's Men, in order to please the newly appointed King James I in 1603. Shakespeare's plays began to grow in popularity with the higher classes, and he began to establish himself and the King's Men as a reputable company. By around 1600, more than half of his plays were written. Shortly after this point, Shakespeare and his partners invested and built the Globe Theatre. This world-renowned theater would help him to project plays as well as helped him put his name into the history books. It allowed his patronship to grow to more people, and therefore his theatrical reach increased. There was question in both Shakespeare's life and his works. Approximately 150 years after his death on his birthday in 1616, critics began to question him. They claimed that he may not have been real due to lack of documentation, and that his works were not his, because someone with a simple education such as his own couldn't create such works of art. This tarnishes his legacy. Supporters claim that none of the other famous playwrights of the time had good schooling, as well as the lack of evidence supporting his life does not necessarily mean that he did not exist. All that we really know is that William Shakespeare was a respected man in the 16th and 17th century who wrote plays and poems, and whose work wasn't properly appreciated until the beginning of the 19th century. Today, he is accredited with being one of the greatest playwrights of all time, and his works are shown in almost all spoken languages across the world. His work truly transcends the generations. I will be analyzing a passage from Shakespeare's Macbeth, 1.7 lines 25 to 28. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself and falls on the other. This scene clearly shows the play's theme of ambition. Macbeth is one of Shakespeare's tragedies and tells the story of a brave Macbeth who receives a prophecy from 3 witches that one day he will become King of Scotland. Spurred on by ambition, he and his wife set into action a set of events that will end in their bloody demise. The story was created in approximately 1606 after King James I came into power in England. Since King James was of Scottish descent, Shakespeare wanted to get onto the new king's good side and created a play that would both entertain the king as well as show what would happen to anyone foolish enough to cross a powerful king's bloodline. A quarter of the way through the play, after receiving the prophecy from the 3 witches and realizing that the current King Duncan would be coming back to his house and that he would have the opportunity to overthrow him, Macbeth remarks, "I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself and falls on the other. This shows that he believes King Duncan is a fine king, and that there is no real reason to overthrow him except his own ambition. The only thing that is pricking the side of his intent is his ambition. I also think he is driven to commit these acts of treason because his wife, Lady Macbeth, has a lot of ambition for both herself and for her husband. She is the one who sets into place the plan to kill King Duncan, and also motivates Macbeth to finally commit the heinous act of murder. After killing Duncan, the play continues on in a reign of tyranny and ends in the suicide of Lady Macbeth and the bloody demise of Macbeth himself. This series of events clearly shows the play's theme. While ambition can be a great motivator and can lead to amazing things, if left unchecked, it can and will end poorly. Thank you very much for listening to my short presentation on Shakespeare and his play Macbeth.